Let's take a look at grading range now. There are a few things that are unique from theory to range that we want to talk through here. So let's go ahead and create evaluations. Again, you choose your location, as you know. You click on Class A range, or we're going to do Class A range. This organization has Class B range available as well, which can be a little different, right? Usually the coupling, uncoupling. But we'll go ahead and choose Class A range for this example. And then, as you can see again, all of your active students are listed and available. And you may take the whole class. You may take just a few guys. Maybe it's a 3-to-1 ratio or something on range. So you can choose whoever you're going to take with you. So let's go ahead and take these three guys. And this one is set up to divide between pre-trip and Class A range. Again, yours can be different. It just depends on how your organization divides it up. But we're going to do Class A range and just the Class A range maneuvers. So we'll click on that. And then this organization also tracks which truck they're working with. Yours may not do that. But in this case, we do. So we'll go ahead and choose truck 123 and go ahead and create the evaluations. Now, this is a little different from the Class A, the theory. You notice Class A theory was done in an entire group. This one, you'll need to grade each individual that's with you. And so now these ones we in the past had already marked as proficient. And so these are some of our test guys. And so they were already marked proficient. So we'll go ahead and take that off. We'll say, no, not proficient, not proficient. Obviously, you don't want to mark them as proficient until they are completely proficient in Class A range. And so now they're all available to go train again. And so I'm going to rotate these guys. So let's say student one right now, I need to grade him on these range maneuvers. So go ahead and click on enter grades. And this one is basic range maneuvers. As you got the straight line backing, 45-degree backing, and so forth. Those are ones that we're going to go ahead and grade today. So let's go ahead and click on straight line backing. Say that's what he's doing today. And this may, if it's his first time, he may need significant training, obviously, because he's just starting. But you can see that the scale goes 1 to 5. Yours may be 1 to 4, maybe a little different, but the principle is the same. So we'll go ahead and say that he is a 3 right now on straight line backing. And maybe what you do is you take each of them to do straight line backing, or you rotate, and that's fine. So here's what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add a comment on straight line backing if that's what you want to do, right? You don't need to, but this is how that's available. And maybe you say, got very close to hitting, and it's good to type correctly, another truck. Whatever the note is that's important there. Again, not required here, but it's really important to put comments in, because that way, if it can be a reminder to yourself of those comments and what they need to have to work on. It can also be that maybe they worked with a different instructor before they worked with you, and it's helpful to see those previous notes. So we'll add a comment there, and then I'll go ahead and just save grades for now on this student, and then I can choose the next student. So if you're rotating and each doing straight line backing, then this is how you can do it, right? So now I might choose maybe he actually, well, I guess if they hit, you'd probably say a 1. But you can put in, whatever score, and then you can put in a note, or you can simply save the grade and then go to the next guy. So that's if you did one maneuver specifically. Now, if, let's say, you want to grade all of them at one time, maybe you do all maneuvers with that person at one time. You just go through and you put in all of those scores, and then you can make one overall comment where you say, maybe did great on 90-degree backing, so no need to really put a note in about that. But the 45-degree backing needs some work, and so you had a comment there about what needs to happen on 45-degree backing. At any rate, once you get done with what you're grading them on in range today, then you just need to make sure that you put in their time. You can't submit it until there's time put in. And so let's say we did this one from 10 a.m. to noon with the three guys, and each person they're behind the wheel, was divided by three basically, or maybe this student got a little more time than another one because they needed it. The others were just observing, and so maybe of the 2 hours their behind the wheel time was just 1 hour. And that's important because you're tracking the time for the whole course here, and the behind the wheel is important to put that in because that's what gets reported to the federal government on the TPR. So make sure you get all of that filled in properly of all the trainings so that it gets submitted correctly. Your organization is going to go ahead and review the times you've put in, so make sure you get those right so it's not more work for someone in your company. And then let's go ahead and submit grades for this student. Once I do that, then it disappears, right? So I'm done with that person for today. Through the student lookup, which we've looked at before on theory, you can find those grades. So these are just your active ones that you need to finish with. So it would just be a matter of making sure, you make sure they're all in there. Now, you notice that I didn't grade all of them today. That's fine. You don't have to. Just make sure you grade all of the ones that you actually did go over today. And that way, it's all covered. So again, it was 10 o'clock to noon, and maybe this person only had half an hour behind the wheel. And so let's go ahead and submit that person, and then we'll go ahead and enter grades on the last one. So let's say we covered this. And on this last one, what I want to show you is you can click on view history. Remember, we looked at that before. You can see the whole history of this student in range on their range maneuvers. So obviously, if they're down to 2 and 3 on these, then something's happened here because this shows them as all proficient. You remember when we first clicked onto this student, it showed them as proficient. That's because on the 26th, they had proficient grades, right? 4 out of 5 would be 80% on all of those. I just happened to choose that student again. But that's why they were marked proficient, is because, once the last instructor went over it with them, they determined that they were proficient, which makes sense, and marked them proficient. And so that is what you do. When you get to that last one where they're proficient on everything, then you, as the instructor and certified, you click on the not proficient on range, change it to proficient, and then that gets marked, right? So hopefully this isn't confusing, because obviously you wouldn't grade them on range again if they already were done. But anyway, so that's how that works there. And then let's go ahead and put time in on this one as well. So let's say 10 o'clock to noon, and this student had 30 minutes as well. And then let's go ahead and submit those grades, and then I'm all done. That's how that works. Is once you're done with each student, then those should disappear, and you know that you're done because you've put in time. You've also put in their grade.